The countdown is well and truly on now for this year's 80th Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. It's upon us again for everything you'll need to know. I'm joined by Amanda Lulham from the Daily Telegraph. Amanda, thanks for your time. What are we expecting? The weather is always such a determinative factor in this race. How are the conditions shaping up?
Well, I don't think anyone's going to forget this one for quite some time. There's a lot of smash, a lot of bash, and a lot of crash. And there's going to be a lot of sick people in this race. At this stage, they're talking about 24 very, very, very long hours of upwind sailing in this race. And that's really going to sort things out the first night and the first morning of the race.
And tell us about who's in line to win this year's race. The defending champions, Law Connect. I saw Christian Beck last hour and our sports update trash talking his own Maxi. Talk us through some of the favourites.
Yeah, he has a tendency to do that. There was quite a bit of banter going on today between the skippers. On the conditions that are there, which is after this, awful upwind sailing, it's going to get very tricky in Bass Strait. And then it could also get very tricky down the east coast of Tasmania. All of the boats have got fantastic navigators aboard, but just purely by the weight of the boats and the size and the shape. Law Connect actually looks quite good for this, but I could never write off Comanche. She's made for everything. She's just not great in the light. The boat that could be a real dark horse, well, actually two, is Scallywag, which is skippered by the Australian David Witt. It's a lot skinnier. It's a lot lighter. It's got a very, very good crew on board, and they're determined to get a win. That boat should have won so many times and hasn't quite got there, but this could be its race. And the other one, well, I don't think even the skipper, Mark Richards, knows. Wild Oats is back. She's back as Palm Beach 11. She's been rebranded. She's got some great new technology, although they have taken off the sea foils, which were one of her special things to lift her out of the water and create less drag, which would have made her, of course, faster. But even so, Rico's known for putting together a great campaign. He knows this race better than anyone. He's won 9 line honours and 2 race records. They're a real dark horse if they can survive that first 24 hours of sea.
We saw last year for Master Lock Comanche, it suffered those torn sails, had to bow out. They'll be out for redemption, you'd imagine, this year as well. They're not to be underestimated. I read they've got a pretty extraordinary team on board.
Oh, look, they have. I mean, they've had... Last year hurt them. They're highly motivated to get there this time. But, the team is as important as the boat, but probably more so as the weather. If you don't get the weather you need, you really can't win this race. I think there's something for everyone in this. I do think that I'd probably still be looking at Comanche at this stage, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the others. I think what is going to be possibly the most fascinating race I've seen in many years is the race for the overall. We're not looking at the big boats this year. I think we're looking at anything that's 45 foot or under. So that means, the mums and the dads, the smaller professional crews, the colour, the vibe of the race. These are the guys that are going to be vying for that. And I think that there's going to be a lot of interest in that.
I know you described this morning in the paper, it's a game of snakes and ladders when it gets to the Bass Strait. For the uninitiated, what does that mean?
Basically, when the wind clocks around in a circle or anti-clockwise, there's always little periods of no wind or transition periods. That's what they call snakes and ladders. You could be going up a little bit, you could go back a little bit, you could go sideways. I've actually seen boats go backwards on the Derwent River, which is at the end of the race. That's what I mean by snakes and ladders. You'll be getting a gain, a loss. It's all about positioning the boat in the right position for the next weather system. So that's where the chess game and the snakes and ladders comes in.
Well, it adds to the drama, doesn't it? And you spoke there of the colourful characters. This is what always captures my attention year in, year out. I always remember Ollie the cat who was on board you told me about a few years ago. Tell us about Hilary Arthur trucking a yacht across the Nullarbor for the big race.
Well, I'll say to Hilary, I don't know anything about trucks, but I love those trucking shows that are on, the reality TVs. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks ago, I saw this yacht being trucked across on one of these programs. And I went, what the? Anyway, I managed to get a hold of Hilary, who is the most delightful lady you've ever met. She's in her 60s, won't admit to exactly how much. She's got a crew, including an 18-year-old. Clearly, she has a ball. She is a school teacher who says that she ran away to the sea. She's just a real character, but a really, really fantastic woman. She's one of 13 female skippers in the race, actually. Anyway, so she's trucked her her little yacht across the Nullarbor. It's stopped at all sorts of places along the way. The guy who brings him over on the truck is very well known in the community from WA. So there's a lot of interest in how she'll go, and I think a lot of people are barracking for her as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race as always, and you'll be having all the coverage, Amanda Lulham from the Daily Telegraph. Really appreciate your insights. Good luck.
My pleasure. Good night. Merry Christmas.